Hello, everyone, and welcome back at it again with another episode of the Playlist Shuffle podcast. What you thought this was? So, big announcement. I finally decided to purchase Crunchyroll, and I've already caught up to Jujutsu Kaisen. When I tell you that the music is wild, I mean the music is wild. Okay? Now, one song in particular really caught my attention. A lot of them did. Most of it did. But there was one that I really had to rush on the mic and talk about. And it was from Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the movie. Okay. So imagine a world where you are living amongst curses, these demonic figures that appears in these crazy looking shape and forms and design, a lot of them with evil intentions. There is a facility called Jujutsu High that trains jujutsu sorcerers to exorcise those curses, basically defeat the curses. Now, in terms of this movie, we focus on this little boy named Yuta and this girl Rika. They love each other, and they promise that when they grow old, they get married. Unfortunately, Rika gets into a car crash. She gets run over by a car and dies. She dies right in front of Yuta. And next thing you know, she becomes this ugly demonic curse and attaches herself to Yuta. So now Yuta goes on living, but if he's ever threatened in any way, especially physically, that triggers Rika's cursed spirit to appear and defend Yuta. A lot of times that will lead to her severely damaging the threat, if not killing them. So Yuta gets recruited to Jujutsu High by one of the teachers, Gojo, and he has to learn how to coexist with Rika's spirit and how to fight alongside each other without her having to go out of control. And when I tell you that this was a well-developed story, that the writing was well crafted, well written, because Yuta has always been a timid and someone who's easily bullied a lot because of the trauma that he saw with Rika's death. He always puts himself in the dark. He wants to be left alone because he's too afraid to see anyone else get hurt. Throughout the film, he gains more confidence and understands the power of friendship and encouragement, and he just grows wise in front of our very eyes. We're going to focus on this one song that was played in the opening credit scene. And when I tell you that the music really just captures your attention, because all it does is it just builds. It builds up, and it builds up, and it gets all climatic, and then it just not fade away, but it just leaves you with a stronger spirit. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it later. But right now, let's just dive on in to this song called Greatest Strength. Did you feel it? Did you feel that? Did you feel your heart just emboldened? Did you feel your spirits just become overwhelmed with positive energy? Did you feel it? But did you understand it? Did you get the message? Because we're about to talk about it right now. But first, give credit where credit is due. I want to give a shout out to all those who participated on this song. Hiroaki, Tsutsumi, Jessica, Gelinas, Toft, Willingham, and Chez. The song was written by Hiroaki, Tsutsumi, and Chica. Very well done. Shout out to y'all, and thank y'all for this song. Where do I begin? Because I can go all day with this song, and I've only listened to this song for not even a week. During the opening credits, this is when we see Yuta getting recruited into Jujutsu High, and one of the as the movie's going along, and you start hearing that rock band show up and perform. This is when Gojo appears on the screen for the first time, and I like that because I feel like it represents something that I'm going to explain later in the interpretation. Obviously, all this happens after Rika's death, and there was a huge accident in the school where in a normal school where Yuta was getting bullied by these bullies, and Rika showed up and literally snatched him and injured him real bad. So it's because he's associated with a curse, he gets recruited into Jujutsu High, where all the staff knows how to contain curses, and they teach new students to contain those curses or defeat the curses. But because Yuta's power is so unique, and the curse was created by unique circumstances, Gojo takes Yuta under his wing and teams him up with his fellow students, and they tackle on this situation together. So there are a whole bunch of words that describe this song. It is very empowering, very encouraging. It teaches you to embrace your vulnerabilities. It tells you how to move forward, and it's just, this song is just nothing but progression, inspiration, and developmentation. That's what this song brings. This song speaks to you in every instrument and reaches down to your very core. We're going to talk about the lyrics verse by verse, all right? So the way the song starts out, it's just the strum of the electric guitar, and you would think it's gritty, and then it leads to this slow and gloomy path, like you're lost. And I thought about this last night. So after the guitar, then the strings come in all slow and everything, all legato and everything. And next thing you know, you start hearing the gleamy twinkle, like it's some sort of stars. And I kept thinking about the stars. Yuta puts himself in the dark. And usually you see stars in the night. So I put two and two together. If Yuta puts himself in the dark, then this instrumental opening, it puts you in the darkness under the stars. This is the world. This is Yuta's mentality of his trauma and his timid nature. And then we get to the vocal harmonies. and it brings this this voice of comfort and warmth, reaching out to you in the darkness. It's very therapeutic, and that's very important to think about. How her voice tackles this song is very warming and therapeutic. And then she comes in saying, nobody knows what have happened. And then she says, there's no way out. That's got to be speaking from Yuta's perspective. Nobody knows what has happened, and there's no way out. To me, in my interpretation, it seems that saying this is what Yuta would say as to why he put himself in the darkness. That he truly misses his girlfriend when they were living their normal lives. And he feels that not a lot of people will understand his pain that he's going through, because he's not allowing people to understand it, because he's isolating himself. There's no way out of the darkness. He is lost in the dark. So now we get into the first verse. She says, you don't see at all what's right for you to do. Well, let's start, and now take a deep breath. This is her being the therapist now. It's basically you saying, let's start over. That you can't stay in the dark forever. You can't isolate yourself forever, because let's start at now. Let's start over, and let's get back to the light, because there's so much things for you to do. There's so much things for you to become. Take a deep breath. Just take a breath. Just take a deep breath. Don't dwell in the negativity. Don't dwell in the past that's broken you. You get knocked down, but you gotta take a deep breath. Take deep breaths. Then the second verse. You're moving forward, deciding not to look back. Your weakness is your greatest strength. Come on. You make it to the end. You'll see you won't be alone. Oh, come on, man. I'm gonna read that again. I gotta read that again. You're moving forward, deciding not to look back. Your weakness is your greatest strength. I'm gonna need you to write that. Write it and highlight it. You make it to the end, you'll see you won't be alone. If this song wasn't already preaching, that right there, that verse right there sets the tone for what's coming. Now you're out of the dark and you're step into the light. Life is still going on no matter what you're going through. Come on. It's real talk now. This is real talk. Life is still going on while you're in the dark. But see, you can't win when you're in the dark. You gotta step up. You gotta get back up. Take a breath and step into the light. Look forward. Don't dwell in the past, but understand. Don't accept that your weakness is your ultimate enemy. Use that weakness and turn it into the strength, into your greatest strength. Because see, that's what's going to make you unique. So now we get into the chorus or the hook. You will know it's the right place to be. Don't be afraid to fall, because the world will take you. You can trust them with all your heart. You will find that you can do anything. You do the way as it should, because they make you ready. You can do it. You are the one. Progression, development, encouragement, inspiration. When I say music tells stories, this is what I'm talking about. So I recommend that if you're going through things, listen to the song Greatest Strength. Put it on repeat if you have to. Because honestly, even though the song is like 3 minutes and 15 seconds, it feels like it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And I want it I just want to put this song in a 2-hour loop. The chorus truly makes the statement to trust in yourself and trust in others. And embrace this path that you'll be walking on into the light. As you step out of the darkness, know that it's not going to be easy. But when you're set on something, embrace the path and accept the changes that are coming to you. Because with change comes gifts and blessings and a new mindset for you. And you're going to discover your own abilities that's going to make you so much stronger than you ever were. You are now walking the path of life. You are now trusting yourself. You are now building yourself back up. And you think about it, you can associate this with anything, especially adulting. My generation, we're about to reach our 30s, and we are seeing, but we've gone through a lot. First of all, we've gone through a lot the past decade. Okay, we've gone through a lot of crazy stuff in our time, and it ain't getting much easier for a lot of us. And we've gone through hard times. I have gone through hard times, especially mentally. The past, I want to say 5 years, 6 years, whatever. Right? But then I found a path that I decided to walk. I found the path that I felt that was destined for me to walk, and I just kept moving forward. And in moving forward, I realized how people find you. And not only will they find you, but they will befriend you. Not only they will befriend you, they will fight alongside of you, alongside with you. You have a support system. You can only isolate yourself for so long, but when you finally understand, as you move forward, I'm telling you right now, I keep saying to my friends that the world just seems to be getting smaller, because as we are pursuing our career, we are meeting people. We are meeting professionals. We are connecting with them. We are networking with them. And we are also finding other people that we never heard of or we never knew. But they're fighting just as hard to achieve what we are trying to achieve. And so we support each other. If you want to fight your battles alone, I understand. But I need you to understand, to trust in yourself. And when you find what you need to defeat your battles, understand just how stronger you're going to get, how much more confident you're going to get, and how many people will truly care about you. It's a big world we live in, but I promise you, when you pick your head up and you walk with confidence and you walk amongst a support system, the world just seems to get small. I can't truly explain it, but on my path and where I'm going, I just bump into people that you never would expect, because I understand where I'm trying to go, and I'm undeterred to go anywhere else. And on my way, some of the biggest names I would never, ever would have thought to run into. Even in big names who I never heard of. And then I hear their credentials. You don't understand. I try not to be arrogant when I say, but I just feel like it's just destiny coming together. And all I gotta do is just take step after step after step. And I look back. I can only look back on the things that almost brought me down. I was down before the country shut down. I was in mental pain. Please understand that. And living in an apartment in Florida by myself didn't help much. And I stopped talking to people for a while. I felt like Yuta because I lost someone dear to me. And that was like the first time that it felt so close to home, because it was very close. They've been there for me all my life, since I was a baby. Understand that. So I understood how Yuta felt when he lost Rika. And then I finally decided to stand up on my 2 feet. I reset myself. And I remembered where I was trying to go. And that's what made me create this podcast. And with this podcast, I became more confident and more open and more vocal. So when it was time to connect, I felt like I was in my zone. Of course, I was nervous at times. And it's okay to be nervous, because you don't know what to expect. But the one thing that I learned is that you can't be afraid of failing. Failure comes, and it's inevitable. But where failure comes, there can be opportunity. I'm gonna leave you with the dialogue that was from the movie. So Yuta and another student that he was partnered with, Maki, they were fighting a curse, and they got swallowed, and now they're in its belly. And so Yuta is finding a hard time to overcome his fear, and Maki being the strongest of the two, she has to get it through his skull. And so she asks him, what is it that he wants to do? What goal does he have? And then Yuta said, I just don't want to see anyone getting hurt again. I try to lock myself away and disappear. But Gojo said I'd be too lonely. And later on in that line, he says, I don't want to be alone. I want to be needed by someone, to know that I'm alive. And then Maki says, keep exercising curses over and over. When you get good at it, confidence and friends will find you. That's basically what the song Greatest Strength was trying to tell you. Was trying to tell us. It sticks along with that theme. That theme of development and encouragement and embracing yourself, embracing your weakness in order to become your greatest strength. Don't be afraid to fall, because the world will take you. You can trust them with all your heart. You will find that you can do anything. You do the way as it should, because they make you ready. You can do it. You are the one. Connect with those around you, and I hope you get stronger and stronger every day so that you can finally win the battle and achieve your goals. This has been your boy, Jay Malley. This has been the Playlist Shuffle podcast, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And we'll see you in the next episode. Follow our social medias on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. This has been another episode of the Playlist Shuffle podcast, and we'll see you next time.